are some common mistakes you see authors make with their reader magnets?
Oh goodness. Okay. So the first I kind of already touched on is the people who think that if you have one, you're just going to build a list full of crappy people who don't buy books. Totally not true. I'm happy to debunk it at any time. Come at me in my Facebook mentions. That's not how Facebook works. Twitter is mentions. Come at me on Facebook. Send me an email. I'm happy to chat with you about it. I absolutely have the statistics to back it up. And I think that's really important when I'm out there like talking on behalf of, Newsletter Ninja, the franchise, if you will. I'm not talking about I'm not one author telling you what happened with my stats. I am telling you this is an amalgam of, a dozen or more situations, lists that vary in genre, vary in size. Some people are on one provider, some people are on another, some people, it's all very different. But I'm here to tell you non-organic subscribers can turn out to be just as good as the organic ones. So that's the first mistake, is a lot of people are just like, nope, I'm not bribing people to join the list. Well, bribe them. A good bribe does wonders. The second biggest mistake I see, honestly, is advice that's a little bit outdated. And this was, 2014. Back in the day, what we were told to do was to make book one free on Amazon and give book two away as a reader magnet. And that would just suck in a ton of people. And that's true, because in 2014, there weren't as many perma-free books. There weren't as many books, period. Readers were not as overwhelmed with free stuff as they used to be. And I don't think that the Amazon sort of algorithms, the recommendation engine, was understood as well as we have since come to understand it. If you make book number one perma-free on Amazon and then you give away book two as a reader magnet, I can guarantee you're not going to sell book three. You may be a unicorn, and that turns out not to be true simply by virtue of vast, vast numbers. But when we're talking about percentages, most people will pick up that book two for free because you offered it. So then what happens is Amazon sees that 20,000 people downloaded your book one and 2,000 people bought your book two. And those are not good sell-through numbers. And Amazon will say, probably no one cares about book three. This is all, of course, machine learning. You've got to remember, it's all AI over there at Amazon, and they're sending 1 million or more emails every single day, right? But they're not going to include your book three in those emails to the people who picked up book two or who picked up book one, because they understand that there isn't really any sell-through, and that they learn that nobody really likes your series and your series dies in the water. So don't do that. Definitely do not do that. Write yourself a tiny little book. Think of it as 1.5 if you must, just a tiny little story that, again, anybody who picks up book one is absolutely going to be like, of course I need to read that story. And then if book one is free or not is entirely up to you, kind of dependent on whether you're in KU, because perma-free and KU don't mix terribly well. And that's a topic for another podcast, obviously. But what you do with book one is up to you, but don't sabotage your book two by making sure nobody's going to actually purchase it on any of the retailers, because they will notice, and that's a disaster. So that's the biggest mistake for sure, giving away book two.